Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video by me. I'm voicing over this because every time I record my voice whilst I'm on camera, it seems to be out of sync. But while you're here to see me make a sculpture once again. But if you don't know who I am, my name is Blut084, BLUT084 Art and Games, and we actually have this time an art and from a game, because we're going to be making, or I'm going to be making, if you want to go follow along you can do, as everything in this video should help you make your own. But if you want to not make your own and find my Etsy channel, or my Etsy on my Etsy, you know, that where I sell everything that I make on this channel, so you can buy this particular one for yourself, you can do. But like I said, if you don't and you want to make it and follow along, this video is just for you. But my Etsy is going to be linked towards the end of the video, maybe at the end, so don't forget to keep watching the video all the way to the end to find that link. But anyway guys, like I said, we're going to be making Crypto from Destroy All Humans. I've been playing this game lately and that is up on the channel, so if you can go and check those gameplays or let's plays there. But like I said, I want to make Crypto, and in this one is he's got everything that he has is going to be removable, and everything that like his jetpack is also going to be removable. But yeah, I'll show you how I did all of this all the way until the end, so don't forget to watch until the end. By the way guys, let's get on with the video, shall we not? Okay, so I did the core as always. I've shown you so many times how to make a core, but I've got myself some wire, some crafting wire, and also put a little bit of tinfoil underneath that. Then put a core of thin polymer clay underneath that, baked all of that so it's a nice firm and ready thing for me to start making the body over the top of that. I've gone and rolled myself out a very thin piece, well not so very thin, just a squashed piece, well, about a pancake or a crepe sort of thickness. Then obviously we're using my tools to bend out the shape that I want for his feet, his arms and his legs, to get in the right pose before I start putting the clay on, because this one's not going to be movable. It's only going to be a standalone figurine, because I just thought I don't really want to make this one bendy or move around, because I'm going to be moving into something else with ball joints later on in the year. So yeah, I thought just make it standalone. The clay that I'm using is Fimo. It is one of the cheapest things you can find for polymer clay. I'd recommend you guys, if you're starting out, to get Fimo and have a little play with it first before you go diving into the more expensive things, because you can buy huge packs, big blocks of it for a reasonable price, about £12. You can find it on Amazon, so I would definitely recommend getting this Fimo for yourself. But like I said, just putting some clay on top of the wire, and now I'm going to put some few indents where I think folds and wrinkles would be, where on his jumpsuit, where his material that he's wearing will sort of fold up. So I'm using my sculpting tool. Again, these are cheap tools, they're not anything fancy. You can get these anywhere in any crafting shop. They're made of plastic, and yeah, like I said, like £1. I think I bought them like 10 years ago. There might be a little bit more for inflation, but I can't really see that happening. But yeah, sculpting a bit of fold and wrinkles in the places where I think the folds of the material is. He has a little bit of a breastplate, so I'm putting that on, and yeah, just sort of getting the right body shape. As he has a blaster or gun or laser gun or multiple different guns in the game, I sort of looked up a reference for the most easiest to make. I was going to make the anal probe, but I thought no, I won't do that. I'll go ahead and just sort of get close to the electrical zapper. With this, I used a bit of old polymer clay that on a previous build that I couldn't find a use for because it kind of broke off, and I thought I'll just keep it for reference or keep it for later. I ended up using that as the core of the gun, using a little bit of wire for the two prongs at the front. Later on I will fill those and put those over the top, but this is just the beginning parts of it, and putting the handle in, just sort of reshaping it, looking at the reference, trying to keep close to the reference as possible whilst I make the gun. And yeah, the little details were fun to actually make on this one. I thought I'd have a bit of tricky problems with keeping it sort of looking like the gun should look like, and you know, got there and got in the air at the end. Few little bits here and there that I thought I'll just add them as artistic license, just to make it look more like a gun or an alien blaster. But yeah, get around to this, and hopefully it turns out okay for you. Now I've got a little bit of an admission to you. The head that you see here, I did on the live stream, and I didn't record the actual stream itself whilst I was doing it, like an absolute idiot. Same with the suit. I thought I'd recorded the suit, and I forgot, because I was in such a rush, to press record. So I'm an absolute idiot. I do apologise for the part where you get to see the suit being made, but he's got his top collar piece where his helmet would be. He's also got the shoes and his gloves, armor garments and things like that. And again, if you want to see this one made, how I did this, I do apologise that I didn't actually record that bit, but I did record making the head on a live stream, which I am going to be doing more of. I'm doing some more live streams. Don't forget, if you guys are watching, to hit that subscribe button, ding the bell for notifications so you know when I will be live streaming. If you can't watch the live stream, you can always watch the live stream back again for looking again. But again, do apologise that I didn't record this part, but I did record making the jetpack, and like you can see on the back there, it's got a magnet, and this is how I'm going to be connecting it and keeping it fixable, so it's removable, and also so you can take it off and put it on at your leisure, and it still has a little bit of detail on the back. But yeah, it's a magnet, fairly strength. Again, I get my materials from Amazon. They are the circular small magnets, and they are incredibly strong, which is why I keep using them in my builds. But I use a reference to make the jetpack. This took me a little bit of time to sort of get right, because you cannot find a picture of the jetpack on the actual internet. I looked on pictures and pictures and pictures. I actually had to go back to the game to look at my own gameplay to actually see what the actual jetpack looked like. Yeah, hopefully it looks sort of like to what you think I thought the jetpack looked like. And yeah, again, adding little details here and there, little dents and little bits and bobs. I am going to let you know now that the body of Crypto and the head is all completely baked before I've done this point, because I thought to myself, if I don't do that, then make the jetpack on top of it, it's going to end up being a problem later on for when I bake, because it'll fuse together. If you bake it on top of it, it will end up being an issue. So I've baked everything pre. Then I got on with the jetpack. There's the magnets that I'm actually using. I did have to swap them out in this again, because once I put these magnets in the oven, they actually lost their magnetism. I don't know how that works. If you do, let me know in the comments. But yeah, I ended up having to swap them out. So just a little bit of pre-reference. If you're going to use these magnets, use them for where you want them to be, and then keep those magnets for later builds, so you can actually they're generally easily removed from the pieces that you're using, as long as you don't obviously cover them over with another piece of clay. I used to do that with a piece of clay, but once the magnets don't work and you've got to get them back out of the clay, it's just a bit more of a pain in the bum. So yeah, I ended up changing the magnets because they lost their magnetism in the oven, which I still don't understand how that's happening. But yeah, everything's baked, and the jetpack's coming on, and I'll let you see how that gets built. Okay, so now we're finished and ready to bake, and it's all been baked. I added a little bit here and there on the back of the head because I did post it and somebody said the details are a little bit off. I've pre-baked, so I've baked all, and I've put on a grey coating of premix underneath before I've started doing any details on top, because it helps the colours itself pop a little bit more. And also, if you put a little bit of a base coat on first, it helps the paint, it helps the paint stay. Whereas, say, if I was going to put the white on top of the white, I wouldn't necessarily see it very well. But I end up doing all of that, painting over it, the white and the other colours that I'm putting on it. About, I would say, apart from the grey on his head, because I changed colour and I put a few extra details later on in the video. But the white I did about 3 times. There's a bit of, it's like a whitey grey, I like off-white, but I did that about three times in between drying. And if you do want to do this and you have ended up your paint not, it's just like you're seeing through it. You can dry it off with a hairdryer. I would keep it on a cool setting, not a hot setting, to dry it off and then repaint, and then dry it off and repaint, and do that a couple times, and you'll end up covering over the bits that you want to cover over. I'm using my silver paint on this. Again, it cures a lot silver than you see here, yeah, the silver paint, it's metallic silver paint, which I just love using this stuff because it comes up with such a shine. And it just looks so good when it's finished and when it's dried off. I ended up painting the jetpack before looking at the reference to actually see the colours, because I thought to myself, oh, it's going to be metal. Of course it's going to be metal, because again I forgot what the jetpack looked like from the game. It's actually got a lot more colour on it, so I just was like a pointless bit. But again, the silver just looks absolutely brilliant. I definitely would recommend getting yourself some silver metallic paint, just for general use, really, because you can mix it with other colours and it gives everything just a little bit of a shine. Like I was saying, guys, the silver, now it's cured and dried, you can see how much more that's popping out and that silver's coming up, especially in the jetpack there, because it's obviously in screen, because again, I wasn't really checking what I was doing. But I'm putting some colours on detail, like extra details. Again, the silver covers over pretty well, so I could kind of use this as a pre coat or a base coat, but it's very expensive paint, so I tend to not want to use that up too much. But yeah, I'm putting a bit of black here, a bit of blue here, because his main colours are purple and white plus, grey, white and blue with purple here and there on most of him. So I'm trying to keep to theme on his gun, because again the gun has a lot of blue on the thing and the handle, and a bit of black on there as well. So I'm just sort of, instead of it leaving it all silver and making it look boring and plain, I thought I'd put a bit of detail on the gun itself. And like I was saying, I completely wasted my time and the paint for putting on the jetpack, because it's blue. It's blue and purple, not silver. So I ended up having to repaint the whole thing. But again, it makes a really good base coat, and I took, I think twice I had to go over it with the paints that I've got available. And again, they're fairly decent paints and getting them on Amazon if you want to check it out for yourself. They come in a pack of 25, so you get 25 different colours, and they're all sorts of different colours, and I definitely recommend getting them as well. Yeah, there was a lot of blue, a lot of purple, which I completely didn't even think about when I did the silver. But like I said, give it all a good coating. Took about 2 coats, and I think it turned out pretty well. And we're on to painting Crypto's helmet type chest piece. It's purple. Again, I thought it was blue, but I looked at my reference and thought that's very purple, not blue. I do darken lighten it first, and then I darken it again afterwards. I do add a little bit more blue into the purple because it is a bit more closer to the blue than it is the purple. But again, this took about 2 to 3 coats before I was completely happy with the way it was looking, because I wanted to get as close to the reference as possible for this chest and helmet piece. I do this about 3 times, go over it a few times just to get the colours, and add a little bit of blue in there to make everything look okay. His boots were a little bit tricky because I did a lot of white around them, and I didn't really think to myself, how am I going to get into the actual where the inner part of the leg is? Didn't really think about that. But his boots were very grey, which again I didn't realise that they were the same colour as his jumpsuit. Not all of his boots, just the top end was as blue, and the bottom sole piece was a darker blue, which is what I did. Right on, so we've gotten into all the way. Again, did a few coats over the original paints, put the blue in there, put the extra bit of white, and a bit of grey and all that I needed. But we're on the eyes, and the eyes are black, so I did the black. I do put a little bit of red to make them look a bit glowy later on in the video as well. Or now. No. Now I'm doing the brain stem, and the extra little higher pieces on his ridges of his head, because I wanted to make them a little bit more outstanding. But the brain is very it protrudes out the side of his head, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't just leave it grey. And it's like I said, it's a different colour to his actual skin colour. It's like more of a purpley, pinky, bluey kind of colour. So I'll do all of that, and whilst doing all of that, I do an extra little bit of coat, just to make things a little bit more shiny. And I add a bit of gold to my silver, just to make it that bit more metallic, because the gold is very much more metallic than the silver because the silver is just a little bit opaque, so I added a little bit of thicker gold to it. Not too much, because I didn't want it to be gold, I just wanted it to be more silver. And now that everything is, I'm happy with everything, I'm just going over everything with a little dark wash. To give everything that little bit more texture, and also get into all the grooves and wrinkles on his head for one, and also on his jumper, on his jumpsuit. I'm only washing it, so it goes into the cracks, and dabbing off all the excess. that I don't like and don't want over the actual whites and areas that is pulling up a little bit. I wanted to get rid of all of that. You don't want to keep any of that, and I wanted just to give it like extra darken in the cracks and crevices. So I use a very, very, very watery black. And all that's left really now is onto the glam shots and to show you the finished piece.